I agree with you. This Morphling is going to have a, I don't want to say a free time, but he's going to have a really, really good time. He's got some good heroes to transform into Jakiro, transform into the Death Prophet as well. So it's going to be a good game here for Tops, and it's all about how Team Secret mitigate that, because the rest of the heroes are much more enablers for the Morphling. The Doom as well as the Earthshaker are going to be able to set up the team fights for him to shine, but at the end of the day, he's the one that's going to be dealing all the damage. So that's what Team Secret's focus is going to be on this game, is shutting down Tops and on this Morphling.
Honestly, one of the things I would like to see changed as well, Ice Frog, I hope you're listening right now. If you take over Death Prophet as Morphling and you steal Spirit Siphon and you turn back, please cancel the Spirit Siphon afterwards. That feels a little bit unfair for a hero like Morphling to give him the Siphon and he gets to go back to right-clicking. No. It should be a decision. You choose one or the other.
What do you mean, dude? It's not like they did the exact same thing with Earthshaker when Earthshaker Morphling was the most broken stuff.
And they looked and they were like, Oh, that's something that we actually didn't even clock, right? They have that combo. It's not nearly as strong as it used to be, thank God.
Well, you can't... Can you turn into allies?
No.
You can't turn into allies anymore. So.
Yeah, thank God. But even before, when you could still turn into allies, they very specifically nerfed that one interaction. They were like, yeah, this is dumb. We can't do this.
Yeah, they were like, as soon as you transform back, you lose Enchant Totem. And it's like, oh, thank God. I think the issue with that is because they were like, you lose buffs, but Spirit Siphon is not a buff. So it's like, you don't lose that hero-specific buff.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, get rid of Morphling. Update his model for one, please. If he doesn't get an updated model in this new patch, I'm gonna riot. I'm gonna make like 15 Reddit threads. It has been far too long. Like, come on. You updated bloody Viper before you did Morphling. This guy has like 10 polygons. Please.
As a person that actually wants less Morphlings in the game, not more, make him uglier, nerf him into the ground, and just make him completely unplayable. So we get the game started here. Game 1. They got 3 bounties for the side of Team Secret. That feels nice. That's a good way to start things off. And they got an Observer Ward deny as well.
I'm surprised they were able to win out with 3 bounty runes early on. It's kind of crazy. But either way, it seems like Old G wanted to just play a little slower here. Didn't want to have to put too much pressure on. And in the top lane, this is exactly what I was talking about, right? Like, Boom's still able to put pressure on this lane. I like the fact that they've decided to push this lane really, really heavily, because you don't want to contest a Phoenix early on, because he's a very, very strong hero with level 1 fiery spirits. You press out this lane here with the Amethyst arrowing the range creep, and then you just trample the rest. And then you can just start getting this slingshot coming back to you, right? Because you want to try and at least get some of the farm, because the Doom's going to out-farm you anyways with Devour. But if you get some of these creeps slingshotting back into your tower, you're able to get the experience that you need on this Primal Beast, as we saw in the previous game from Davai Lama. Is sometimes you just don't have the levels to be a hero, and this hero really shines at level 6, hits his his power spikes at 3, 5, and 6, and that's when he's able to really take over a game.
Well, it's still going to be a lot of contestation on that side of the map. There could be kills happening there. Mid lane, unless somebody drastically makes a mistake, nobody should die. Middle, going to be yet another farm phase, quite boring. Surprisingly decent for the Morphling, because you just make sure that you have enough physical damage to kill creeps without being susceptible to getting bursted by a Cryptstorm. He's played this matchup before, it should be fine. Nothing of note is going to happen here. Let's see, other side of the map, down bottom. Ursa Jakiro into Earthshaker and Enchantress. I would very much like to be this Ursa, but at the same time, unless Seb dies, he should be able to find his own net worth as well. It's actually an annoying lane to play into, into the Ursa, because Enchant Totem, whenever you're trying to go for a last hit, bam! Enchant Totem. Very annoying.
And that's the kind of positive that Old G have here, right? Is Yamich gets the first blood there on the Always Want to Fly, and that's, as I said, that's the positive here for Old G is this Earthshaker lane. He's kind of one of the few melee heroes that can actually deal with Ursa early on, because Ursa in the first couple of levels, he wants to slowly poke away at you with Fury Swipe stacks, but Seb's just going to walk up and he's just going to enchant totem you every time you come close to him, and you can't outlast it an Earthshaker who has decent base damage, and then obviously enchant totem gives him 1 billion damage, so he's able to easily last hit. And as this lane gets harder and harder, that's when it's really going to start to see Seb carry forth, I think.
That's where Puppy comes in, my friend, because Puppy can actually carry this lane too. Double attack speed slows, making it hard for Seb to get off those last hits. As soon as more levels start to come in for Puppy, Seb gonna start not enjoying his time down bottom. But for now, everybody's just trading farm. Gonna get the Ring of Health for the spare, make sure that he doesn't die in the wave, and Seb also gonna go Ring of Health. The question is, oh, Fluke, here we go. My aficionado of the meme hammer. Is this a game? Top lane, no one might die though. Boom. Ooh. Finding him with the damage and with Yamich actually claiming the last hit. Oh no, that was not supposed to happen. The Doom seemed like he was a bit too far forward in that situation, Fluke. He gets punished for it.
Yeah, and that's one of the issues that you have with Phoenix, right? As soon as Fire Spirits is on cooldown, Phoenix really doesn't provide much for you. Doesn't provide a stun, doesn't provide a way of separating the Doom and the Primal Beast. So Secret, they're playing this lane really, really well. Boom's off to a rip-roar of a start. They got the kill there onto no one as well, and means now that they're going to have two heroes. They're going to have a good start to the game. And I talked about Yamich being able to make a rotation towards mid with Thompson and try and get the kill on the Morphling, and I think that's the way that Secret are playing this. And circling back to the meme hammer build, I think it would be nice, but also I've seen a lot of these core Earthshakers, like you just get shard early on, insane item to have, boom goes down again, but it's just such a good item to have over the media hammer, because you kind of want to play a little bit more at range until you get things like blink ags, and then maybe he might look towards it, but I think unfortunately we won't see a media hammer this game.
It doesn't look like it. I'm kind of surprised that Boom didn't have any raindrops to take with him into the top lane. Super, super effective against Phoenix early on, but they actually might kill Always on the fly. He's getting charged into with the onslaught, and Boom immediately finds his revenge. All right, he was just taking an express trip back to the fountain. He wanted to replenish his mana pool. I see. I understand now.
Nice little reset.
They actually might go into no one. They didn't commit any of the spells from Yamich, so no one's needs to watch himself. Once they have Trample back online, they could try and make a play onto this Doom.
Yeah, 100%. Especially with the interaction between Scorched Earth and Uproar, you can already see that Boom, I don't know if he's intentionally taking damage, but if you slowly stand in Scorched Earth, the damage isn't enough early for you to be worried about your life, but you get the Uproar stacks, and as soon as you get like 3 stacks, you run into a Doom who's naturally pretty slow without Scorched Earth, and you get that extra bonus damage onto the trample as well.
Bottom lane, they're getting bonus damage out onto Chrysalis thanks to the Enchant Totem. They also block off his route to escape with the Fissure. Unfortunately, that also blocks the route of approach for Seb. But, you know, they show some dominance. Make sure that Ursa knows that he can't play this lane 100% freely.
Yeah, I think that's what you need to do. So you need to assert dominance very, very early on into these Ursa lanes, because he needs to have that confidence once he hits like that level 5 mark to really be able to bully you out of a lot of these lanes. And OG, they're doing a good job in this offlane to put Seb off to a good start. Starting to win out on the CS War as well. Mid is going surprisingly well here for Armel, right? Like he's having a good time up against Thompson. Isn't completely blowing him out of the water, but you know, got to level 6 earlier. He's starting to win out on the power runes, and will eventually have kill threat on this Morphling.
I mean, Morphling literally can't kill you, right?
Yeah.
Well, once you get Spirit Siphon, you are 100% immortal in this lane. So Armel is doing his thing, hitting creeps top lane. They're going on to no one. We clocked that they might try this aggressive play. Yamich, though, not gonna throw out the arrow just yet. Yamich? Oh my god. If Yamich had leapt forward and threw the arrow whilst no one is still stuck in the trees, maybe they find a kill there. Very, very peculiar that he didn't try and make that play, but maybe saving it to try and just bring down the Siege Dragon. But actually just going in right now. Always on a fly. Will die to the Starfall. Trample coming in right now onto no one. And they still held the arrow for Yamich. So no one can't fully approach this lane. He's going to try and make this run forward with the Scorched Earth though. Be careful, fam. Dude, Yamich is being way too patient with this arrow.
Yeah, he's holding out until he can get himself a nice little kill. Oh, dude, and I feel so bad. The Icarus dive got cancelled. Boom just hit him in time with the onslaught, and Always Wanna Fly wasn't fast enough to just fly out of the way, and he got it cancelled. That he's basically a sitting duck, right? So Secret, they're doing a really, really good job at performing in this top lane. It's exactly what they needed. They needed to be able to have these heroes that they can play in pairs, to be able to pull apart OG, who really like to group up early on. And if you're able to pressure them to group up earlier than they would like to, or even in positions that they don't really want to, then Secret are going to have a much better mid game than what OG have.
So far, so good for the side of Team Secret. 2 of these lanes, they are winning out in terms of net worth. The one where things aren't going that way just yet is down bottom, but Chrysalis will eventually get there, provided he builds up into this Battle Fury and can just farm. Regrettably for the side of OG, their draft does need quite a few items, Luke. Like, this Doom is going to want to farm for a while. Seb needs Blink Dagger before he's fully enabled. Morphling, yeah, you're playing through middle, so you get more experience, but you still need a ton of net worth. As they lose Doom again in the top lane. This is before he even finishes his Hand of Midas, so his progression in this game is stalled out. So even if things are going better for them, unfortunately things are going a bit too good for Team Secret. Now they pop Ghost, they want the Pulverize. It's back in 10 seconds, they might not even need it. Arrow flying in, connect, flush. Yamich held onto the arrow. Well, he used it in between, but let's pretend that he saved the arrow the entire time just to try and grief the Phoenix.
Yamich God. Yeah, Secret, they're playing this early game insanely well. Usually you don't see old G getting run over in these lanes, but the way they're playing right now is really, really good for how they want to play this game. They've rotated Armel towards top. Oh, actually, they have made a rotation bottom to get the kill there on a Chrysalis, but making the rotation with Armel top gets this tier 1 tower, forces no one to make that rotation towards bottom. And unfortunately for Chrysalis, he got caught out, so it's not a complete 100% victory here for Secret, but what a good opening rotations from them so far.
They won 2 out of 3 of their lanes, and they want to try and transition very solidly into the mid game. Despite losing the life down bottom onto Chrysalis, it will take OG some time to find this tier 1 tower. They are going to make the attempt though. No one almost has enough gold for the Midas. We'll see if there's a counterplay as they bring down Kitra coming in from Team Secret. But Armel is not nearby, so they can't pressure the mid tower, and Ghosts are still on cooldown. Major drawback for the side of OG is that whilst Armel can make these moves to pressure on towers, Thompson can't really do the same. He can show and lend his physical prowess to the tower sieges, but still has to sort of put himself in danger in order to be able to do so. Mid lane. Are they going to try a combo into Thompson? Puppy wasn't ready with the Ice Path. They might actually try to go for it now after the trample into the onslaught. Do they have enough damage for Thompson? Shockingly low right now, but they didn't have enough reinforcements to bring down this Morphling. Still proof of concept. Morphling is vulnerable, is mortal, can still die under the right circumstances.
Yeah, if Puppy was there maybe a little bit earlier, they were definitely could have been able to transition that into a kill, but the fact that Thompson literally just TP'd back mid and had to sit underneath a bit of the heals coming from Kitrak, who unfortunately is going to lose his life here, meant that he's not able to just get the farm going. He's doing well here on the Morphling. This is a pretty good game for him. He's able to get to a few of his items.
Oh, mid lane. They're trying to go on to Thompson again. They popped Moonlight Shadow for this. Wait, is that all they wanted to do? Okay.
I think that Moonlight
might have been to get Yamich out. I see. He's hiding behind the tower. Okay, I see.
Yamich was in trubs, but works his way out of it. And you can just see like there's this little bit of extra tempo coming in from OG. They rotated Seb as well as no one towards that mid tier 1 tower to maybe see if they could get a counter initiation once they went on the Morphling. But Secret are doing a really, really good job at just corralling Thompson into a position where he still doesn't feel safe, right? Like he doesn't feel safe going mid. There's a lot of heroes around there. He doesn't feel safe in his own jungle. And then it's like, where can you find the space for a Doom, Earthshaker, and a Morphling to all farm before their items? Like, I don't think there's going to be enough space if they lose this tier 1 tower as well.
That's right, they're mounting such a full-throated defense of this. However, Team Secret trying to offense here. They go, Ice Path going in onto Thompson. He waveforms forward, transforms into Boom, onslaughts back onto the Primal Beast. Arrow connects onto him as they're trying to bring down the Supernova. In the meantime, Armel tanked up the Doom, but already got off the Exorcism. So runs into the backline, is able to bring down no one. He's attempting to escape right now. Doom is only going to be online a little bit longer. Has access to a mech as well, so we'll be able to take back the fight. In the meantime, though, Ice Path catches out onto Always Wanna Fly. The Phoenix will die towards the trample of Boom. And now Armel back without Doom applied towards him. Able to Spirit Siphon up, mech up, and they will come in to clear out this tier 1 tower. Chrysalis finally makes himself known. Exits hibernation. Summertime has finally arrived, but OG, they try to take a fight here, Fluke, and they're the ones that get pressured in this mid lane.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show that their heroes just really aren't up to early fighting until they have a few of these items, right? Especially up against Boom, who's had such a good start. Same with Armel. Like, they've got Mech, Vanguard up on their 2 tanky heroes, and OG just don't have the damage to punish them. Unfortunately for Yamich... oh, dude, he
nice, okay. It actually hit him. He's dead. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Kitrak.
Damn. We talked about this last time we had a Secret series, but Yamich, man, is like... He's getting back to that old form where everyone was noticing him, right? Like when he was playing things like his Techies, his Task, like even his Mirana when he was playing in a lot of those Eastern European teams. And now that he's come here on a Team Secret, I was a little questioning about whether or not he was going to be a good fit for the team. But I mean, the way that he's playing, dude, like he's definitely hitting some really, really good form. And Secret really need that to get back into Division 1, right? Like this Western European division is extremely tight, and they need all of their star players to start hitting their stride, and they're really starting to get into some good form here. And this is the secret that, you know, if you told anyone without even telling them the roster, oh yeah, Secret's in Div 2, you would expect them to go 7-0, right? Like you're just like, yeah, it's Team Secret, like they'll get through Div 2, and now they're showing that they definitely have that kind of caliber in their team to be able to make this a clean run towards the end.
They started off a bit shaky, to be honest, watching them in Div 2, but they've been getting, to be fair, that was also a lot of different things. Armel coming in, playing in his first European team in the mid lane. Boom, playing off lane again for the first time in many years. Yamich having made his first foray into proper Western European action after also having had a fairly extended break, right? Took a couple of months off, not playing any Dota whatsoever. Mid lane, Topson doesn't have Manta style, so does have to watch himself here. Might actually die, and indeed he does. Seb does reveal the Blink Dagger though, coming in with the Echo Slam. Between this and the Supernova, Boom should die, as they'll be able to get 2 cores here. That was also Armel utilizing Exorcism, so they'll take it. Yamich also dies elsewhere in the trees. No one able to find him and kill him. So Old G, despite losing their TI winning mid laner, they're able to pick up quite a few kills elsewhere. This is going to recover the early game quite handedly for them.
Yeah, sick counter initiation there from OG, and that's one big thing they have, right? Like their counter initiation is insane. Like if Morphling even lives during that fight and Seb gets the Echo Slam like half a second earlier, Morphling lives, he gets another waveform off, he turns back around, he goes back to farming, and they still win that fight because they have this overwhelming team fight. Doom goes on to one of the heroes, 2 heroes get Echo Slam if they come anywhere near the egg, and it's just going to be the way that OG can play this game, right? Like they can always put their Doom and their Morphling in the front lines and counter initiation with the egg as well as the Echo Slam if Secret do overstep, and exactly what they needed to do here for OG is get that counter initiation going and really start to pull this game back. They are looking to try and get something onto no one.
Yeah, I think they know where he is. They see him. Yeah, he's just up underneath the Observer Ward. Onslaught doesn't connect though. Got himself away with the Hurricane for a second, but there will be a pulverized the Ice Path connect onto Kid Track as well, so he can't assist in this fight. No one brought down by Boom. And while all this is happening, Team Secret tell Chrysalis that like, hey man, there's no heroes coming in to contest this. You should probably just go say hi to the big man. Chrysalis obliges, and it looks like Roshan shall fall fairly shortly.
He got triple bashed. Like when he first started Roche, he got like triple bashed in a row. It was pretty funny to watch, but
that's funny.
With the pick off they got, they were definitely able to secure an Aegis now for Chrysalis, a farming Aegis. Don't see too many of them these days, but you know, when you get it at 15 minutes, like it's exactly what your Ursa needs, especially now with Battle Fury up and ready to go. Going towards that Blink Dagger, and then Team Secret have kind of just almost hit their item spikes, right? Like they've got Guardian Greaves now on Armel. Boom has his Lotus Orb, which I think is an interesting pickup. And then as soon as Ursa gets his Blink Dagger, they can just keep going and going and going. And fighting Old G without their ultimates up is exactly the what Team Secret want to do, right? Because Echo Slam, Egg, Doom, all big cooldowns, and if you win a fight after they've utilized those ultimates, it means you can just take up so much space on the map, and forcing Old G to either try and fight or give up a lot of this space.
Actually a nice Lotus Orb game now that I think about it. I mean, if somebody gets doomed, they probably die, but that's why Marana's going for the 4-staff. But this Lotus protects you from Seb, so if he goes in with his own BKB, Boom, if he's watching carefully where Seb is moving, as soon as the Echo Slam / Fissure comes out, you immediately dispel it. He can still take the fight. Well, I like it. Does mean that they need to take a couple of positive fights now, though, as they smoke up. Oh no! Topson, he just waveformed into the Ancient Camp. He does get off the Strength Morph just before he gets aggressed into, but he might still end up dead here. Arrow will ensure that the chain disable is there as they bring him down 100-0 on the Morphling. What a time to be alive, or rather, what a time to die right after you waveform in for an Ancient Camp. Feels bad to be Morphling. He's actually having a really rough game this time around. Like, since the laning phase has ended, he's just been under so much pressure on Topson. Hasn't been able to recover his net worth since then.
Yeah, and I think Secret, again, just harkening back to what I said at the start, right? They know that this game is Morphling or bust, right? So if they're able to keep him down, then it just means that Ursa can play a little bit better in these team fights. Their Death Prophet can play a little bit more in these team fights. OG did smoke. They got some really good deep vision down to be able to understand where they can and can't play up against this Radiant side. So that's the way that they can play around it. I think the thing with the Lotus Orb, it's much more about the fiery spirits. Just be able to dispel that and at least just make it so that no one can't just instantly go on somebody like Chrysalis who's going to be in the front lines for them. Speaking of, just have the Aegis still. Right.
Yeah. Awful hero to jump on. They definitely don't want to do it. Of course, Kitrak, because he's actually in his heart to carry, we've seen this game after game from him. He enjoys getting some of this net worth for himself, normally through kills. But he is farming towards the D-Lance, so they have that bonus damage. It's not just coming out of the Morphling. Now they smoke up though. Seems Secret. Outside of the Exorcism, they don't have the longest cooldowns in the world, so they can try to play aggressively on the map. They'll come across Kitrak, who will very happily break the smoke. They'll get jumped on by the Ursa. Fissure will buy space and time. Let's just jump back. Oh no, Thompson! He got hit by the arrow. Yamich! Stop it, my friend. It's only a game of Dota. Thompson is dead. They take away the first life from this Ursa though, but it did require them to pop absolutely everything. Well, they still have Echo Slam and Doom. So they can retreat, maybe try to hold their higher ground. Boom, coming in after them, goes in with the uproar. Who will they find out here? They get the slow onto the Enchantress, and she is going to die. Long range arrow from Yamich. Is this man playing Dota or is he playing Call of Duty with these MLG arrows? What a player. Making this game so much easier for the side of Team Secret.
Yeah,
they get the Doom out though. They want Armel. Seb has Blink in 10 seconds. Won't be able to follow up with the Echo Slam though, not yet. The Doom pops BKB to try and get this chase down. But Armal's gonna live. They don't even need to get all the heroes in to make this happen. He's not even gonna get denied. He's gonna live, heads up.
Oh, that is the worst possible set of circumstances for OG. In that last fight as well, Thompson waveformed in and he got clipped by the Onslaught. So that's how he got stunned, didn't get the Strength Morph off, and then there was an Ice Path over the top, and then Yamis just threw the downtown arrow, absolutely nailing him in the head. And then as soon as Thompson goes down, they just don't have any physical damage anymore. And this Ursa, who's just kind of running around still with an Aegis, all he has to do is pop in Rage if he ever gets to a bad spot. Armel's just popped the Ghost, and it's just so much damage that he does naturally. And man, OG, I really feel bad for Thompson. Today is not his day. He's getting caught out by some pretty bad timing. But at the end of the day, when you're playing these competitive matches, sometimes bad timing is just, you know, good play from the other team. And Thompson really needs to try and get a few more of these items so he can start to survive more in these team fights, because if there ever is an opportunity for them to counter-initiate, like OG have so much overwhelming team fight that it's going to be hard for Secret to play around them until they get their BKBs up, right? So Armel's close to his. There's one coming out very, very soon for Boom, and as soon as Chrysalis gets his as well, that's 3 BKB cores, and it's going to be hard for this Echo Slam and this Egg to do much. And the way these guys are playing right now, like Armel definitely was up to the test this time around. I think he's been tested a lot in the past, and being able to come up against Thompson today, he did a really, really good job. And now they're just in such a commanding position for Secret that it's really hard for OG to find these fights, right? Like, no one really hasn't been able to get a lot of his ball rolling. Usually you see Dooms at this point being super far ahead in the net worth with Devour as well as Midas, but he's had to go back for this BKB, and even during BKB, Ursa will melt him. Ursa will tear him to pieces if he gets on top of him.
They just need Ursa to get the Basher, and then at that point, life becomes very difficult for the Doom. This Morph, because he doesn't have that much net worth, all that damage is still magical, so the triple BKB timing that you mentioned is really gonna hurt OG. Even Morphling only does magic damage up until he gets more and more items. Also, I can't believe you say you feel sorry for Thompson. You feel sorry for a Morphling player? No. You picked Morphling, fam.
True.
You willingly went into a game on the Waterboy. Lose the game and tank your L. Mid lane, Doom jumps in. No one! He does get the Doom off though, but he was initially stunned up. Armel can't get off the Ghost, can't get off BKB. Boom is buying space and time on the far edge of the fight with his own BKB. But because there's no other hero to chase forward, they can't catch up to Armel. There will be a stolen onslaught with the trample going forward. It only catches onto this Mirana, but she did trigger off the Moonlight Shadow. And now, with Doom gone on Armel, they're thinking about a re-engage here. They waveform back in onto the high ground. No one also wants to chase, but here comes Armel. BKB with the Exorcism going. They want to look towards bringing down no one. No one falling so low. Will he be able to survive this fight? Hurricane onto the high ground. He stays alive. The Supernova does pop. They stun up onto this Primal Beast and they kill off Boom. Seb though, forced to pop BKB, but to no avail. He is going to end up dead. The TP out from Enchantress will be successful, but always on a fly. Not going to be as lucky. They get that one kill. They're still in search for more though. Chrysalis sees Thompson. He jumps on Thompson. The Hurricane forward. No one really doing everything he can to keep Thompson alive, but he will not be able to succeed. And now Yamich. Okay, not this time, Yamich, but they still maybe have set up for a kill to happen onto no one. Spirit Siphon will be there. The ghosts are finished. They're not going to be applying the physical damage anymore, but unfortunately, Armel still a little bit too strong right now. Chases him down, gets a kill. So that's Seb and no one who both use BKBs in front of Armel, and Armel chases them both down in this fight, making it a 4-for-0 affair. No, 4-for-1 affair. Boom did die on the side of Team Secret.
Holy shit, these Secret guys are absolute gamers. Armel is playing these team fights to a T, right? He understands exactly what he needs to put his emphasis on, walks directly past the egg, goes into the face of no one, understanding there's no Doom for him to play around with, and he is the strongest hero in these team fights when the ghosts are going on. And he just pops his BKB, turns back around, and gets that fight in the favor of Team Secret. Also, Chrysalis with a sick little blink dodge on the adaptive strike to get the kill on the Thompson. And yeah, Thompson just isn't able to do much in these fights. He waveforms in, and then Chrysalis is in his face, and he cannot fight this Ursa at this moment. He needs to wait until he has like Skadi +1 item, maybe. Then he can start dealing with the Ursa and, you know, play around his waveform timings. But Secret, they have this very, very strong mid game right now with the heroes and the items that they have. That this second Roshan is going to mean there's going to be an Ag shot out on Chrysalis. You could probably even give it to Armel if you want to get the fear, but the fact that he has this shard now means that he's going to be much harder to kill.
Honestly, I'm just genuinely still shocked that OG decided to re-engage on that fight, because after the Doom goes out and you realize that Armel can't turn with BKB Ghosts, I think that's probably when you say we give up this fight. Well, we actually can't take this, but they decided to make the engagement happen. I guess they were banking on the fact that Boom, his BKB was down, and he did die in that engagement, but definitely not good enough to only kill those Primal Beasts. Earlier on, you were blaspheming by saying you feel sorry for the Morphling. I genuinely feel sorry for the Doom, though. No one has had a very rough game. It's one of these things, right? You have so much net worth. You're looking at your items that you're like, man, I've got Blink, BKB, Midas, but who can I actually solo kill? There's almost nobody on the enemy team that if no one found himself by one, that they could just solo kill them. And unfortunately, though, Kitrak finds himself falling prey to the MLG arrows of Yamich. My man has a bright future ahead of him in the shooting game scene after Dota.
Dude, his arrows are magnetic. Like, I saw that from a little while away, because the way that Kitrak was moving, there really was only one path that Kitrak could kind of walk into, but Yamich was able to size it up and get the kill. I think, you know, just talking about your point about OG re-engaging, they still had Echo and Egg, so they still have a lot more team fight than what Team Secret did, but it was just, they just haven't been able to find that a good Echo Slam just yet to be able to catch up one of these cores pre-BKB and blow them up.
Puppy looks like they want to blow him up, but he might just be debating for his team. Arrow,
he's alive.
Ooh, they're forced to use the Hurricane, and he's still alive. Boom actually kills him. No, he couldn't run away because the Onslaught held him in place long enough for Kitrak to connect with the Impetus. All right. Okay. That's something. Puppy is dead. That will stall out the game, though, because they abandoned the push they were making mid lane to come and take this fight. So that means that they can recover some of the map advantage on the side of OG.
Yeah, and LG, they have to just sit back and farm until they get some more items on their Morphling. I think he needs BKB. Yeah, he's, what, 1,300 gold away from that now. So BKB on the Morphling means that it's going to be timing for them to fight, but we've already seen Armel not care about BKBs this game. Pops his Ghost, walks in and just says, yeah, righty, I'll deal all the physical damage that I need. And they get rid of these BKBs early on. So LG are playing the waiting game. They're hoping to try and slow down this game, and after they can hold on to more of their 2-2 towers and try and get a good counter initiation. It's going to be very, very hard for Secret to go high ground into these heroes. You know, Enchantress can peck away at you with Impetus. You've got the Phoenix as well. That's always going to be hard to go into, and obviously Earthshaker has been one of the hardest heroes of all time to go high ground into, because if you just get echoed in a great wave with 1 or 2 cores, like it's kind of just game over. Especially once he gets Shard, which he has now. Like, the chain stun that Seb has is nuts.
Yeah. That is the one thing, right? You were talking about, like, them re-engaging that fight. That was also a situation where Seb couldn't find the initial jump. Oh, Seb, speaking of him, he's dead. Wait, he's actually not. Yamich already threw out an arrow. But Yamich still gonna try and get involved here. Fissure will come back. Blink online in 3, 2, 1. He'll be fine. All right. Rare mistake coming in from Yamich. He threw in a searching arrow before Boom could find the Pulverize. If that Pulverize comes in before the arrow comes out, he's 100% dead, but it doesn't. But that does also mean a BKB charge. He's down to 7 seconds now.
Yep. And I feel like he hasn't really been able to utilize his BKB. It is kind of hard game to find a good BKB spot because you're going into Ursa and DP, like two heroes that really don't care about BKBs. So it is hard for him to try and find the good spots to pop this BKB. And Armel's now searching. See if he can find anyone. Oh, no one's on an island. He has Blink BKB. Ooh.
Blinks back just at the right moment. Not gonna get caught with this. Yeah, they couldn't see him. All right, you know one thing that we're talking about in the draft? I said that one thing I need to see from Team Secret. I need a Shiva's builder, and this DP is closing in on that item right now. She has Sergeant Kaya, BKB, Guardian Greaves, still sitting with a casual cloak in lieu of the Wraith Bands though, and then she's gonna turn this into Shiva's Guard. Once she gets Shiva's, how does DP die this game? How do you kill her?
I think you have to echo her and 100-0 her. I think that's the only way you can get it done. They do have 4 staffs to be able to mitigate some of that, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be the only way you can kill her. Is like you blink echo her, you follow up with like Fissure and the enchant totem stun, and then Morphling comes in and just tries to wail on her for a little bit. But outside of that, I don't know, man. I really don't know. That's a question for the gods, I think.
I think the circumstance you outlined, thanks to the Sanj and Kaya, like if you echo her, do the full combo from Seb. All right, let's see. So depending on the heroes around, they can maybe kill her because she has so much armor. So she'll lose like what, 1,000 HP off of all the magic bursts, right? From Seb, she'll lose maybe another 600-700 to the Sunray, a couple of impetus shots. But then the disable's finished. She might actually have to get doomed as well. It might be, they might need to literally drop everything on her to kill her.
I think so, and they've also got Pipe 4 staff on Yamich now too, so
he has Pipe?
Making her a whole lot stronger.
When did he find Pipe? How does Yamich always get this gold? What the hell is this, man?
I don't know.
Well,
I think he went
they're
Pipe
coming
first.
in on the side of OG. Oh, Pipe back before stuff. Okay, that makes sense.
Because I remember seeing early on he had a very early hood, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a sick Pipe game. A lot of magic bursts coming out from old G until they get their Morphling online.
Yep, pretty much all their damage is magical. No one's still stuck also dealing magical damage. Not really in a position to lash out the physical. Didn't go for like the AC build we sometimes see on these carry Dooms, playing with the Infernal Blade. There will be an onslaught coming in from Doom. Boom. Not going to be able to find a kill just yet. There was an interruption on the Pulverize thanks to this Fissure. Fortunately for Team Secret, but unfortunately for all of us Dota players, Pulverize has pretty much no cooldown, so they can make this move happen again shortly.
Dude, it's 24 seconds at max level. What?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. It's so good.
I mean, I'm a Primal Beast player, so I can't complain. But god damn, what a hero!
What a hero!
I honestly think this is probably one of, I don't want to say the best hero that Valve's ever made, but the best of the new heroes, hands down.
You think it's better than Pango?
Yeah, I think he's better than Pango. I think his design is insane.
That Pango's so cool, you know? Does his little swashbuckles. Initial Lucky Shot was so much fun to play with. There's been some cool heroes that come out. Dark Willow's been okay. Actually, Primal Beast is pretty cool. Fights happening right now, which might work out for the side of Team Secret. There's a Doom that goes out onto Chrysalis, and there's a Fissure as well. Supernova popped onto the low ground. Here comes the Morphling, trying to lance out the physical damage. But even with the double damage rune here, Fluke, he's barely tickling anybody. The Doom's about to finish. There comes the Echo Slam from Seb, but it only connects onto a Doomed Ursa and a Jakiro that was in trouble anyway. They turn around with the Pulverize back onto Thompson. Paul Thompson still trying to survive this fight. Seb dies with the onslaught. Buyback onto Jakiro. Puppy wants to turn his attention back towards Thompson, and there's Yamich. They get the arrow that holds him in position long enough for Armel to finish them all off. The TP out from Always on a Fly will succeed, and Kitrak trying to run away, but he has to know that his time is up. Pulverize back in 4 seconds if they even need it, and they might not, but it's Pulverize. You might as well put him down. Yamich getting a killing spree. 4 heroes dead. All you got was 2 on the other side. But yet again, for OG to get anything, it cost them every single one of their spells, all their BKBs, and it's still not enough. Armel is still standing the strongest hero in this map.
Dude, check the fight recap.
Oh my, 7,500 damage?
Yeah.
Wow.
insane. Like, looking at this replay, I thought this was going to go pretty well for Old G. They got the Doom out onto the Ursa. They're able to, you know, at least force him out of the fight, but they just didn't do any damage. They had no damage. Like, even with the DD on a Morphling, he just couldn't do anything to anyone. His Echo was sick coming in from Seb. They clean up on the Chrysalis, but it just means that Armel is untouched. He's dealing so much damage with his Spirit Siphons, dealing so much damage with the Exorcism that everyone just gets brought their pieces, and then Topson again gets caught out with the Silence, gets turned around with the Lotus Orb stun, and then gets arrowed. And then that's all she wrote for Topson. If he can't transform back into the Morphling, get the Strength Morph off, he will just die.
What's crazy about that fight is Topson dealt 5,500 damage, but it barely felt like it. Like, he was just tickling these heroes. That's how tanky everyone is right now in Secret. But even when you're dishing out that much damage, it doesn't matter all that much. Erstwhile, you see Armel dishing out only 2,000 more damage, but looking like he's just tearing through these OG heroes. They just don't have the items. They're too far behind, Fluke.
Yeah. And that was with a sick 2-man Echo. That was with a Doom on the carry. That was with an Egg that went off as well. Like, all of their teamfight spells are going off. Maybe they might not be able to convert. I think the biggest thing for me is not converting on the Chrysalis kill straight away. Really hurt OG in that fight, and they had to commit extra to kill him. But you can just see, like, Armel is back in some form, man. I don't know what Puppy's been doing with this kid, but he was in a slump for a little bit in SEA, and now he's come over here to Western Europe, and he's starting to kick ass.
Boom is also starting to look a lot better. Wasn't necessarily enjoying his time as a mid laner on Team Secret, but as an off laner, it's been going well. Well, I say that, my bad, bro. That was a Costa's curse. That one's on me. But they might still find this kill here. Yamich, stop it! Stop it, Yamich. Stop it. And they also bring down Kidtrack as well. Off on its own little adventure. The adventure comes to a very short end as Chrysalis just eats him alive on the Ursa.
Dude, Yamich is my favorite player, hands down. What a gamer.
How is he always there? This guy.
He's just too good, man. And like, this Secret hitting this form at the end of the tour is really, really good for them, because we talk about the patch that's coming, right? Like, the patch is literally very, very soon. Like, we're going to finish this day of games, and then we're going to start to look towards a new patch in, you know, the next couple of hours, right? Like, well, not a couple of hours, but within a day.
About 22 hours,
we're going to be seeing this new patch. And if Team Secret are playing this well together, yeah, some of the heroes might get nerfed. Like, Death Prophet's probably going to end up in the bin. Maybe Primal Beast will end up in the bin. But if you're playing with this kind of synergy for these players, like, their combinations with different hero combinations are sick. And the way they're playing around Armel, the way they're giving Chrysalis space, the way they're grouping together at the right times, that will take you so much further than what it will if you're abusing better heroes, right? Because with this new patch, nobody's going to know what's good. But if you just understand, hey, these two heroes combine well with their base spells, then you're able to just kind of take over a game if you have these heroes that just naturally work well together. Whether or not they're good or bad in the meta, time will tell. But it's all about how you're playing together as a team, especially in a new patch. And I'm sure there's some big brains on this Secret roster that are going to be able to find and nerd out and get some good source. So yeah, these guys looking scary to end the tour, and props to them. They definitely deserve to be back in Div 1 with how they're playing today.
Yep. The level of play has been quite stellar from Team Secret. They've been slowly but surely picking up quite a bit of steam. Now the question is, where do they go from here? 20k gold lead, they have the Aegis, they have a cheese available as well. How do they want to close out this game is the question. They still haven't taken the mid lane of Rax, but that was only held onto by a fortification being popped. They're playing very disciplined. They're going to wait for the next round of ghosts and then pop the Exorcism. And now Chrysalis will just happily take down the tier 2 tower. Also, Chrysalis, despite being the core on his team that's been focused a lot in these last couple of fights, has been quietly also having a very good game, you know? It's actually such a luxury when you're playing Ursa under these conditions, where you're not even the focal point of your draft. You can just, if you can die first in a fight and you're the only core that dies and your team still dominates the fight, that feels really nice. He just gets to pick his targets, farm on the periphery. He's top net worth right now, but doesn't even need to be. Oh no, Topson, no! Guess who's here? Guess who's caught him? It's our boy Yamich. First, there's the Abyssal Blade. They ensure that there is not going to be any escape. Yamich finds the vision. Chrysalis and Boom find the kill.
Yeah, and Chrysalis has always been plinking away on this roster, and he's kind of like their insurance policy, right? Most of the time when he's playing a lot of these carries like Ursa and Monkey King and he's Drow Ranger and all those kinds of heroes, he's the kind of player that you want to sit back and give a lot of space to, and you know, this has been a good game for him, and the fact that they gave him Ursa really just enables their draft, because they needed a hero that kind of just goes in and soaks up some spells, right? And that's why Ursa was a perfect carry for them. He goes in, pops in rage, you know, he does a front flip on a few people, and it's very, very hard to deal with that. He's going to soak up some of these spells, so then Boom can find a good angle onslaught in. So Armel can sit back and wait until the Doom's been used so he can pop his ghost and utilize his Guardian creeps. But it's just great to see the way that Team Secret are playing this, and OG, they are giving a run for their money in the last couple of these team fights. They're forcing them to play this kind of stellar kind of Dota to make it to this point, but 24k behind now, losing 2 lanes of racks, I'd imagine. Oh man, it's going to be half OG.
Let's see what they've got on this one. Yamich. Dude, relax. Yamich. Stop, dude. It's just a game of Dota. My God.
I think when you're playing against a Mirana and they're hitting like these random arrows, you overthink the way that you're moving way too much. Like most of the time, like if a Mirana's not hitting arrows, you'll easily sidestep that stuff. But always want to fly there is like you can see these like juking back and forth, not really sure like where he needs to go, and it's just off the back of like Yamich hitting consistent arrows, right? And you start getting in your own head like, oh my God, this guy has magnetic arrows. I need to, you know, do a loop-de-loop just to try and get away from this arrow. But a lot of the time, you can kind of just play chill.
Yep. OG we'll be able to at least stop them from taking the top lane of Rax by posturing in the area. The Aegis has expired now. Boom, pops BKB. Looks like the team was actually planning to smoke soon, so this could actually be a pretty big deal. They might have to wait this one out. So there they do indeed smoke. It's a full minute that they don't have to worry about BKB, but OG did not see this, so they don't know that Boom is now a viable target.
Yeah, popping it after he blinks out of vision again is the one positive out of that, I guess. But yeah, that's where's his hotkey? What was he trying to press? I guess he just fat fingered, right? Maybe because it's next to his blink. I don't know. I'm just going off the premise of my hotkeys where I use like 1, 2, 3, 4. So.
You use 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah.
What? Yo, for your item hotkeys?
Yeah, for my item hotkeys 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my God.
V and B. Of my 6
I
hotkeys.
use ZXC and then Alt ZXC.
What? Why would? All right. What?
Yeah, so
no,
that I can so that I can click my buttons, so that I have like my pinky, ring finger, middle finger on like my spells, and then index finger on my items, and then thumb on Alt, so I could press the other button.
You want to do like a 180 twist to try and press Z? Like what?
I don't have to do a 180 twist, just Alt. Then I just move my ring finger.
Nah, fam, that sounds whack. That sounds whack.
Oh my God.
I don't know. The first thing I changed when I started playing Dota was the item hotkeys, because I could not use like ZXC.
Dude, I love ZXC. I've gotten used to it. Top lane, BKB is loved right now by no one as it keeps him alive. He gets to pop it. And they pop the BKB on Chrysalis as well. This is actually not bad for OG. They've had to use Exorcism Ghost for this. There's no Roshan to try and div it back to. Okay, they hold. And they managed to try and exploit this timing. They know that there's no BKB. This time around, unlike with the BKB from Boom, OG did see it, so they can try and exploit this movement.
Yeah, if they can get a catch here, this is big. They don't have any vision to play around with, though. They have one ward up on the cliff and doesn't see anybody.
Of course, Mirana breaks 2 smokes just by being positioned on the high ground. Puppy should die for this, and indeed he will. They're not going to get much else off of it.
Man, they would have really loved to have grabbed a core there, but as you said, like Team Secret, they know that they're going to get punished if they stay around. And Yamich breaks a few smokes. Poppy's the only one that cops the L there, and he's more than happy with that. The fact that they smoked out. They didn't use anything big to kill him, which is still something nice for OG that they can still fight. But they would have loved to have been able to... If they caught like Armel or Chrysalis there, they would have been loving life, and that would have been a good avenue for them to start the comeback. Just catching some of these cores out and just being able to get a little bit more gold back into your heroes, because Thompson, at the end of the day, he still is playing Morphling. He still is playing one of those heroes that can 1v9. So he is very far behind, though. He is lowest of all the lowest of you know, the cores outside of
the real cores.
Yeah, in this game, and he needs to be close to the top. He needs to be somewhere around where his Doom is to be able to start winning this game back. But that's going to be a long road. them to get that done.
The
Chrysalis?
bright side. Oh, Chrysalis. Ooh, finding the jump onto Kid Track. Not going to be able to kill him though. That was a BKB pop. Boom will come in. Very nice range on the Pulverize there, my friend. As they do manage to get the kill. Doom jumps in though. Hasn't doomed the target just yet. Just picked up the Aghanim Scepter. But then forced to flee the fight. Didn't actually get the Doom out proper because that Lotus Orb. Oh no. That's not what we need. I thought it was Ag's Doom, but it's not. It's the Lotus Orb. Fissure will still be there, blocking our mouth for being able to retreat. Thompson is dishing out the damage as we do lose always on the fly. Supernova right outside the base. Morphling dead. Does have buyback though. The Enchantress, will she die too? She's trying to heal with the attendants. They're not going to be enough. There's buyback on 2 of these cores, or 2 of these heroes, but there's no Supernova available. And Thompson does not have BKB. They will still buy back though. They're going in for the fight. Say, popped his own BKB. They're going on to Boom, push him back with the Hurricane. That should allow them to get the kill. One big pickup there, but they did lose the lane of Rax, and it did cost double buybacks to make this happen.
Yeah, and guess what? Roche is up now too. So, Team Secret, they can just easily walk in here. The Ursa's going to be able to tear it to pieces, and OG, they're going to have to try and fight. They have no Egg for 70 seconds. They have no Doom as well for 18 seconds, so maybe they can come in and contest, but look how fast it goes down. Crystal is going to tear through that. Refresher and Ag, so probably DP getting Ags. Maybe you might give Puppy a little bit of a pity Ags this time around.
Pity
and then they just get a Refresher orb as well, so... You're gonna feel nice about it. I mean, Armel's, I guess he's playing well, so he deserves an Ag Scepter and he does a lot more damage, but come on, give Puppy something, dog.
Always on a flag.
Okay.
He gets a cheese. Okay, now jump in. This time it is the Ag's Doom, but they are able to force them from away from this Doombringer. BKB was popped as well by no one, so they can't have that fight happen for themselves. Bit unfortunate that that's going to be the case.
Yeah, the rest of OG just they weren't close enough. Like that was an initiation by himself, and just not being able to stick on top of any of these cores with the 4-staffs and the boots of bearing, and everything is just so fast that it's hard for him to keep up. So now they don't have Doom. It is a very, very low cooldown though, to be perfectly fair. 82 seconds, so the fact that it lasts for 16 seconds means that it's roughly only about like a 60-second cooldown anyways. So they should have it for this next fight, but there's only 1 lane of Rax left, man, and things are starting to get spooky because Chrysalis has a Swift Blink now. He's level 25, so he gets the extra overpower attacks, so he can kill the Egg and still have some overpower attacks to start swinging around. This is going to be hard to fight.
We use some of those overpower attacks to bring down the tier 3 tower, and now these Rax are in jeopardy. Range Rax down to half HP. They have a creep wave coming in from the top, so there's no backdoor protection to buy OG and old new lease on life. How on earth can they take this fight here? Morphling. I wonder what item he bought. Has his courier, might have just been scouting out. Doom jumps in, has the AoE Doom going. They really want to try and find this Ursa. Still has Aegis for another 3 minutes though, so not a very viable target. They drop the Ice Path down from Puppy, holding on to no one, making sure he can't progress in this fight. Arrow will be blocked by the BKB, and they just want to jump onto the Doom and kill him. Heads up. Pulverize now coming back in. Also always on the fly. He does get off the Supernova, and they take the first life. The Fear will come out, and they have to get away from this Egg. Stuns up the Chrysalis. Can Chrysalis escape is the question. He goes into the Enrage, he refreshes, he gets off the secondary BKB, jumping onto Phoenix and ripping always on a fly apart. Boom with the trample, doing damage onto Kid Track as well as Thompson. The Echo Slam and the Fissure will cancel out the Pulverize, but it does not save the life of Saban, nor will it save the life of this Morphling. Chrysalis gets an ultra kill. Come on, y'all. Do the right thing. No one gets caught by Yamich's arrow. Yamich is the real homie because Yamich knows it's rampage time, baby. They get it. They throw in the towel. GG, well played as score. Team Secret take game number 1 in